Palmetto police have now identified the Bojangles employee accused of opening fire and killing a man in the parking lot. His name is Maurice Evans of Forest Park. So Evans is now charged with murder after a shooting this afternoon at the restaurant on Roosevelt Highway. 11 Alive's Galat Malame spoke with the victim's family about what led up to this shooting.
Police say this shooting began with an altercation, and relatives I spoke to say that man was coming here just to try and help his daughter.
This is a sad situation, just sad. So I just hope justice be served.
Family mourning the loss of Dominique Goodman. They say he was shot and killed in this Bojangles parking lot Sunday afternoon. His relative, Marlene Lately, rushed to the restaurant on Roosevelt Highway.
My son called me and I didn't hesitate, jumped up and got ready and came out here.
She says Goodman came to the restaurant because his teenage daughter, who works there, called him asking for help.
I guess her and the manager might have got into it or something like that. So she called her dad, which any child would do. And the dad came up there to see about his daughter.
Lately says when Goodman arrived, the manager was waiting for him in the parking lot.
Now he's laying there on the ground and his family seeing him. You know, it's sad. That's sad.
Palmetto police say they believe a Bojangles employee fired the shots and is now in custody. Officers responded to the shooting around 1:15 p.m., blocking off the area for more than 4 hours. A representative for Bojangles tells 11 Alive News its hearts go out to the victim and all those impacted, writing in part, "The safety of our guests and team members is always our top priority. The franchisee is fully cooperating with local law enforcement as they conduct their investigation." Lately pleading for an end to the violence.
I'm just telling everybody, put down these guns, start thinking.
That now has her family planning a funeral this holiday season.
It's terrible. I mean, because here come Christmas, they wait, you know, he probably got everything ready for him. And now you got to spend the holidays without your dad and their cousin and brothers.
This is an ongoing investigation, and police are asking any witnesses to reach out to them.
All right, you guys. You guys saw that news clip, okay? So this incident took place on Sunday, December 7th, around 1 p.m. Okay? Maurice Evans, 25 years old, a Bojangles manager in Palmetto, Georgia. He got into a confrontation with his female employee, which is a teenager. Okay? And the female employee called her father, 43-year-old Dominique Goodman. When he arrived, he confronted Maurice in the parking lot because Maurice stayed in the parking lot. And then the argument escalated, and Maurice pulled out a handmaker and shot him. He shot him, he shot him multiple times. And so around 1:15 p.m., the Palmetto Police Department got a call saying that there was a shooting at the Bojangles. So when the police got there, Dominique was already gone. He passed away on the spot. So Maurice was charged with aggravated assault, unaliving, aggravated assault, possession with a firearm during a commission of a crime. So he was booked at the Fullerton County Jail, and he waived his first court appearance. Oh man, this is something else. I I don't have the words, you guys, for this one. This is very sad that this man lost his life just checking up on his daughter. I don't know if the father went to his car and confronted him. That's what they say he did. But who knows? And they just started yelling. But if it's yelling and nothing got physical, I don't know why he would pull out a gun. just makes it makes no sense to me. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head. Have a great day, you two.
You get a call from your teenage daughter who works at Bojangles and she says, Dad, I need help. He says, no problem, babe, I'm on the way. You get to Bojangles and her manager, who got off at noon, is still there waiting for you in the parking lot of Bojangles. Y'all get into an argument. He takes out a firearm and shoots you and ends your life. Was it really worth all of that, Maurice Evans? So Maurice Evans, who was a manager at Bojangles, had a situation with an employee who was a teenager, and she called her daddy, Dominique Goodman, and daddy said, I'm on the way for you, baby. He gets there, and this man is waiting in the parking lot. You got off at noon, and you said and waited in the parking lot until I got there? And then you ended this man's life over an argument. He's been charged with murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony. I absolutely hope that Dominique's daughter knows that she is not at fault and how much of a blessing it is to have a dad that when you say, Dad, can you come? I need help. He says, I'm on the way. Not everybody got that. I was a daddy's girl, so I did get that. And I know that if I, for any reason, called my daddy and said, Daddy, I need help, he was on the way. So don't feel any fault for a man who was supposed to be doing his job as a manager that made you feel any type of way that you feel like you needed to call your daddy. I hope that you don't feel any responsibility for it. I know that may take some time for you to understand that, but I hope that deep down in your heart, you understand it's not your fault, baby. I do hope Maurice rots in that cell for the rest of his life over something that could have been something you should have just walked away, especially since you got off at noon. Now, this did happen yesterday afternoon, about 1 o'clock in Georgia at the Bojangles over there. And a family is now picking up the pieces over something that was probably this big, but made to be this big, because he took out somebody's daddy over something this big.
A father was shot and unalived by his daughter's manager at Bojangles. Dominique Goodman received a call from his daughter telling him that her manager at Bojangles been picking on her. So Dominique decided that he was going to drive to his daughter's job and confront the manager. The manager was sent home early, but instead of leaving, he sat in his car and waited in the parking lot. When Dominique finally got to his daughter's job, he realized that the manager was no longer inside of the building. He was now sitting in his car. So he confronted him. They got into an argument. The manager pulled out a gun and he shot Dominique multiple times. The sad thing about this whole thing is, I feel like his daughter is going to blame herself for the rest of her life for the reason why her dad is no longer here. Let's listen to what Dominique's friend had to say about this situation.
I guess her and the manager might have got into it or something like that. So she called her dad, which any child would do. And the dad came up there to see about his daughter.
She also said that Christmas is around the corner. Instead of him being with his family celebrating, they now have to plan a funeral.
It's terrible. I mean, because here come Christmas, they wait, he probably got everything ready for him. And now you got to spend the holidays without your dad and their cousin and brothers.
Yeah, I think about this story.
Yo, this is why I hate niggas to the core. I just got a call that a very close friend of mine lost his life last night to this clown-ass motherfucker, Maurice Evans. He was a manager at a local Bojangles, and he got into an argument with a teenage employee on his shift. And she called her father, which is my friend Dominique Goodman, and her father comes up there an hour later. Mind you, Maurice had already checked out and was gone for the day. He sat and waited on her father to arrive. And when her father got there to see what was going on with his daughter, Maurice jumps out of his fucking car and shoots him 5 fucking times in front of his fucking daughter, man. During a fucking Christmas holiday, yo. I'm talking about, Dominique was a really good dude, man. He did no wrong to nobody. This shit is fucking absolutely insane that this little bitch-ass motherfucker would destroy a family like that so fucking close to fucking Christmas, man. Oh, Bojangling-ass motherfucker.
This story out of Palmetto, Georgia is so heartbreaking. The gentleman you see here in this photo is Dominique Goodman. He is the father of a young lady who worked at this Bojangles restaurant off Roosevelt Highway in Palmetto, Georgia. Now, the man you see here in this photo is Maurice Evans, who was the manager at Bojangles. So Dad gets a call from his daughter saying that she and Maurice had gotten into a disagreement at work. This disagreement must have been pretty serious because Evans was sent home. I don't think he was fired, but he was told to clock out and go home. Dad makes it to the restaurant and Evans is still there. What exactly happened between the two, I cannot confirm, but either way, Maurice Evans pulled out a weapon and shot Goodman multiple times, and he died from his injuries. Evans did stay on the scene, so when police arrived, they did arrest him, and he was booked into the Fulton County Jail on the following charges: aggravated assault, murder, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Now, I did read some of the comments on some of the news article posts. I saw that a couple people said that this man was a single parent. It looks like he was doing what any of us would do. If your child calls you and tell you they're having a problem, you show up for them. Now, I'm sure nobody imagined it would go this far, but as from what I've read, there are no indications that men showed up with any weapon or any threats of violence. I think he was probably just coming up to check on his daughter and see what was going on. And to have his life senselessly taken was wrong. Now, I want to extend prayers to this family, and I pray that justice is served.
This king right here got a phone call from his daughter at her job saying that her manager was fucking with her, and he showed up and got unalived. Let's talk about it. A manager over here at Bojangles in Georgia decided that he was going to take this man's life when he showed up to show out for his daughter. Now, I don't know how to feel about this, because when my daughter called me and need me, I'm showing up. But today's date, this day and age, people ain't playing no more. Everybody on the edge. Everybody got the thing. Everybody ready to use it. You got to be careful how you approach people these days, because nobody playing with nobody. I don't even know who to blame in this one. The daughter for calling the daddy for showing up, or the manager for acting the way he acting and having that thing on him. But you know, that's just how it is these days. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about this one. Would you have showed up for your daughter? Of course you would. Would you have showed up and acted out? Of course you would. Would you expect to get unalived? No, you wouldn't. But in today's society, expect the worst, because people ain't playing these days. Let me know who you think is in the wrong. Jump in the comments, follow for more, share, like, and hit the favorites.